they're not differentiating enough. So one thing my question when we first, before we started recording was, I have questions around what the strategy is of these 3 games. Like, what are they trying to achieve? I mean, I think one of you mentioned, they're like this learning. But if you go back to when Party Match came out, they've been learning for 3 years. And like, if you're going to be learning in Match-3, you got to be learning much faster. And they have a live game. So the learning should be moving exponentially.
It's 4 a.m. and we're rolling the dice. Matej drops knowledge made of gold and ice. Felix with ads making those coins rise. Jack up designs, worlds chasing the sky. We're the 2.5 gamers, the midnight crew. Talking UA adverts and game design too. Matej, Felix, Shaka bringing the insight. We're rocking those vibes till the early daylight. Matej, UA, master eyes on the prize. Tracking data through the cyberspace skies. Felix stacks dollars like a wizard in disguise. Jacob's crafted realms lift us to the highs. 2.5 gamers talking smack. Slow hockey stick, got your back. Ads are beautiful, they light the way. Click it fast, don't delay.
Okay.
Recording already? There you go. Let me just... Hello.
Light grenade.
Are you in a rave?
Yeah, no, it's of course. It's a podcast rave as usual. Hello, everybody. Welcome.
Better nightlife than in Seattle. I'm coming to your place.
Yeah, of course. Come on. It's a rave in my daughter's room.
Yeah, Bratislava. Like fucking dark literature and suicidal novelists.
Oh, no. Okay, welcome.
Yeah, okay. Let's start here. Let's start from here.
No. We already started, man. Like, we already started.
All right.
And today we're talking about not 1 game, not 2 games, but 3 games. Century games. Woohoo. Oh, yeah, anyway.
No Forex.
My name is Matej. Yeah, no Forex. My name is Matej Lancaric.
I'm Felix Braber.
And I'm Jakub Remiar.
And I'm the guest. I'm Laura Taranto.
Hello, yes.
I've been on this podcast before and very excited to return.
Welcome. We are your hosts. So, perfect. Thanks. So, it's not Forex, it's Century Games, it's Match-3, it's casual puzzle there, whatever activities they're trying to do. And it's a lot. It's a lot. So let's start with what? Can you share, Jakub, what exactly all those games are looking like, or where do we start?
Yeah. Let's start as usual with some numbers and some kind of.
Thanks for bringing the energy.
Should we do like a high level of as well and what Century Games is? Because I know they're typically known for 4X games.
Yeah,
like I think you did King Shot, they did Whiteout Survival, and now they have these 3 Match-3 games, and it's kind of like, where did these come from?
Yeah, but if I think when we start talking about them early, when Frozen City came out,
was
and then Whiteout Survival, like they had all these farming simulation games, tons of them, and then suddenly Frozen City exploded, and then Whiteout Survival exploded as well.
Yep. Nevertheless, the portfolio even before Whiteout Survival was doing something like 16 to 15 million a month already in 2022. Just saying, those are those Family Farm Adventure doing 7 million. Yeah. Like it's dwarfed by Whiteout Survival on the graph, but if I take this out, you can see that it was still doing huge chunks of revenue. So the original,
pretty good.
Like the portfolio is very diversified, let's say, for a Forex company. Comparing something this to RemiarGame or FunPlus.
Because it wasn't a Forex company before.
It was not. So that's what I wanted to talk about. So it was FunPlus sold DN Interactive Studio to Century Group, and that's how Century Games started. So yeah, sorry. That's what I wanted to, because it's a fascinating history of how they started. Yes, they had the Family Farm Adventure, which was one of their first games, the farming game, I believe, or it was an early game of theirs.
Early games. They had Dragonscapes, which was a spin on this family, whatever. And when we talked about it, they already had back in like 2022 or somewhere around it, the gross pupils were like pimples.
One of your favorite creative tricks.
Yeah, one of my favorite creative tricks in the onboarding already. Back then, now they're doing all these like slightly different hyper casual stuff, but yeah, like they were already changing it all back then. It was absolutely
so Family Farm Adventure, just to get that in context, already behind 208 million just here, so it's still pretty big. But yeah,
just to tell you, I was working on the creatives on this game, and I was supposed to bring a new creatives to the table, new creative ideas and concepts. And like, okay, so these are the creatives we actually tested. And I opened that drive, it's like 500
Everything?
different concepts. Like, okay, so how do you find something that wasn't tested already before? Oh my God, I tested everything. So, and that was a low scale family farm adventure. Like now you can translate it into Whiteout Survival. It's like on steroids, basically.
Yeah. So here somewhere you could see that like at the beginning of 2023, there's the Frozen City kind of a blimp here, but it gets dwarfed very fast by Whiteout Survival, and that's usually what people know
It's
Century Games
everything.
for. Yeah. So now it's the Forex company, mostly, I guess, but there's still other avenues that they're following because Kingshot is doing very well. We'll cover that. It's already passing 1 million a day in revenue.
Ooh.
So yeah, that's getting very, very big. It's basically
Wait, can I
Yep.
just ask here, Laura, how much do you think on top of this they do through web shops?
How much do they? Okay, first question is I actually don't. Do they have web shops set up for these for the
think-
Match-3 games?
I think
I'd have
most
to
of
take a
these
look.
have.
We
So
can
I
check.
have not looked for. I'd have to check.
Or we can ask our new sponsor, FastSpring.
You saw where I was going with it.
I know where we were going with this because, FastSpring delivered D2C at scale for over 20 years. So, they power top mobile publishers around the world. So maybe, just maybe, they also work with Century Games. Well, we never know. We should definitely ask because it's no drama D2C partner. They can scale. So just go to fastspring.com and open your web shop as well. That was very, very nice, Black Felix. Very nice. Thank you very much.
I thought you'd pick up on that. I thought you'd pick up on that.
I had it in my sleeve for later.
Yeah.
Great.
I'm actually curious though, Laura. Like, do a lot of Match-3 games monetize with web shop or not? Like going back before the shill, but yeah.
But back before the shell, well, I think the hardest thing for me to know is what percent of the ones that do have it set up, what percent actually of their revenue comes from web shops, because that information it's not in Sensor Tower.
It doesn't exist yet.
Yes, unless a company like Xolo that does it will share it, which I imagine they wouldn't because they're not going to reveal revenue data of any of their clients. But that's the hardest part to estimate. So
shoot from the hip. You have how many years experience do you have? Like shoot
16.
from the hip. Yeah. So shoot from the hip. Shoot from the hip here.
It depends okay, so what I've seen it done before, it depends on honestly, I think it partially depends on the integration if it's available in the app itself. So I know you can do one link in the game to push it to a web shop, but then you still owe 27% of a platform fee comes from the post sale that sale. I would not say it depends.
10%?
15?
No, more.
You think so?
It
depends on whether or not.
After the Apple ruling, I guess it's going to increase much more to something like 30. At least.
I would agree with that. I think it's going to increase. I don't think the visibility is high enough today, and I don't think it's easy enough to target your players without setting off alarm bells elsewhere.
But you can do like direct pop-up now in US. You've seen those screenshots of like Supercell games, like literally in your face pop-up. Here's the store.
Sure.
Let's see. The only thing that is missing is so one thing that I've recently I've been getting a little bit more accustomed to is when you have to make your own. Well, one, if you have your own payment processor, that's one thing. If you have to build that whole tech end to end, that's the part that can be incredibly annoying multi-step, which may or may not affect the actual funnel completion rate of that purchase. The one thing that makes it super easy is when you have Apple doing the whole thing. It's click, click, done. So these are the things that actually have to sit down. So shooting from the hip would entirely depend on how it's implemented.
We're gonna need an answer. 20%?
Yeah. I would say like.
But fine. I'm gonna open up to any of the listeners. I have not myself worked with it. So let's go with 20%. Tell me. I want to hear what everyone else sees.
I have worked with a Forex game that was quite large. And they had 50% payments coming through web shops.
50%,
but we're talking about
like
Forex.
Not mega scale, but
anything mid-core can hit this easily. This mid-core.
Yeah, but then you ask about casual games in Match-3, so it's like the 20% is always like Laura. If you say 20% on anything, it's always that's the safe bet. It's a safe bet. 20% is always a safe bet.
So
it's I would say 20.
Back to Century.
Max.
Why are we actually talking about this
we're
shit?
talking about Century games.
Sorry,
yeah,
sorry.
you're right. Yeah, sir.
So Whiteout Survival and Kingshot Killing It, yada yada. That's the Forex part, which we're not going to talk about today. But the other thing, which is really important, and I guess it's this kind of a sleeping dragon, is that they're going very heavily into casual, and they're going meaning they're attempting. They don't have yet like a giant, if you don't count Family Farm Adventure doing 200 million a success.
It's not the Match-3.
Yeah, so basically they're going after a lot of casual games. If you look at pretty much how these games are being released. For instance, just last month, they already released Bolts Off and Block Color Match, which you can guess which are following. Block Color Match is color block match, and Bolts Off is Screw Them, basically.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah. So Century is trying to heavily diversify into casual, and what we'll be talking actually are the 3 Match-3 games that we picked off of the portfolio because they're going heavily into Match-3. I'm not saying they're not going to other directions, but let's say at least Truckstar has been a little more successful, definitely more successful than Chrome Valley Custom. So we're going to talk about that. That's the topic for today. Hopefully we can figure out some strategy because I'm a little bit puzzled still. What's the strategy is?
Oh, hello there. I didn't see you. Thank you very much for coming to this episode. It's brought to you by our sponsors, PVX Partners, the simplest and most effective credit line for marketing. If you're scaling your business and need funding, here's the deal. With PVX Partners, you can grow your game easily and your business. There's no equity dilution. You can repay as you get paid, and it's flexible, fast, and fully tailored to your growth. So you can secure funding in 30 days and get a term sheet in just 24 hours. Don't you wait. Take control of your UA budget without giving away a piece of your company. Visit pvxpartners.com and see how they can help you grow your game faster and stronger. Don't wait. Go to pvxpartners.com. And while you have you here, we also want to thank our sponsors, Vibe.co, because this episode is brought to you by them as well. They can help you grow your brand on CTV ads. With Vibe, you can launch high-impact campaigns across top streaming platforms like Hulu, Roku, Tubi, and whatever else. I mean, all from one simple dashboard. We don't have all of these in Europe. Anyway, so it's built for brand all sizes. It's rated on 4.8 out of 5 on G2 for a reason. Join over 5,000 marketing teams already scaling with streaming TV. Visit vibe.co to get started. That's vibe.co. Join them. And thank you very much for joining us for this special episode. Now let's get back to it. Thank you.
Yeah. So Truckstar, Family Farm Match, and Party Match.
For a second, I thought you are actually on level 239.
No.
Which I'm pretty sure you are not.
When you say party match, can you actually sound excited? Like you're going to a party?
Meow. It's a usual party. Yeah, so let me get out of this and lose my streak here so we're on the same page. Horrible.
Level 50. Okay, nice.
That's my usual here, like level 50.
Yeah,
I guess when the feature set unlocks. Like, did you see anything else, Laura, that I missed there that was supposed to be unlocked after level 50?
No, I mean I played to level 100, 100 in Truckstar. I got to high 80s in a Party Match, which used to be called Disco Match, and a Family Farm Match. They're very similar, and at one point I realized I could stop playing. I didn't have to hit actually level 100 because the games, especially Family Farm Match and Party Match, they're so similar. I'm convinced that they used almost the same engine with a couple of improvements for those two games.
I mean, we're talking about Chinese companies, so
Chinese efficiency.
Yeah, it's
I mean, you joke about that, but that's actually standard. I mean, you have If you have the engine, you might as well take the engine you have, add what you think is going to be the next wave of innovation that a player wants to see, and then chuck it in the next game.
Yeah, maybe we can look here into the slide you did there, because before we actually start to talk about the games, like their dates, because I think this is quite important. Whereas the disco party match, I guess, went and didn't make it.
It's dead basically now, right?
Yeah, that's my question.
It's-
Like, do these games are considered to be just like guinea pigs to do experiments, or they're just dead, or why they're alive? I don't know. But yeah, this was done here. Chrome Valley Customs comes around, and then
Jakub, like you said, like, Laura, can you talk about the slide you made? And then you start talking.
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
ahead, Laura. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I'm happy for you to jump in. So I remember when Disco Match came out because I was playing it about a year ago. It was on my radar, yeah. And I didn't realize I realized it was Century Games, but not to this. What I didn't realize was that it was going to be the kind of the foundation of what Family Farm Match was going to be. But in 2024, I actually went through the updates. They renamed it to Party Match, and I could not. That I have some theories as to why they're not good theories, but they released this in 2022 ish. Then it was pre Chrome Valley Customs. So Chrome Valley Customs came out, and then I do not think at that point, I don't think Disco Match, they may have used the same engine, but there's more differentiation between Party Match and Truckstar than there is between Party Match and Family Farm Match. So Disco Match was first, then Chrome Valley Customs came out, and that was supposed to target, increase the demographic of male players in the Match-3 audience, give them something that they would particularly like in terms of theme. Forza Customs came out shortly after Chrome Valley, and then Truckstar came out. So there's this wave of like, how do we integrate more of potentially an audience with, how do we engage more of a male audience into the Match-3 world? Because we know about 50% of the population of Match-3 generally plays is male. So maybe if we give them trucks and beer, they'll enjoy it more. Who knows?
Brilliant idea.
So
Yeah. Outstanding move.
We're so simple.
And then what came afterwards, which was a very recent release, was Family Farm Match. And if you play all those three games, the top row is the Century games for Match-3. And then I've just put two for comparison that were not Century games. The way I see it as Family Farm took from Party, and then Truckstar is a little bit on its own. So it was a little bit different. And I think that's why I pulled in the Chrome Valley and Forza. So there's two different distinct lines as I would slice and dice it.
Yeah, here's the chart how it actually went off, where Chrome Valley Customs set like 2023 hit this peak of something like 100k a day, and then slowly, if I get this off, pretty much declined.
Yeah,
and then
you see why.
Yeah, pretty much Truckstar ate its lunch, and then Truckstar kind of peaked and stayed somewhere there around 80k a day, and here we are basically.
Can I say a really funny note here? If you put the cursor on November 1st, the CEO of SpaceApe actually told me that back another year. So go back to when it was actually peaking So right here during this peak, the CEO of SpaceApe told me that Exhibit visited the SpaceApe office and was very excited. And I had no idea that Exhibit is actually called Melvin. He was very excited, and it was a very funny visit to the office. But yeah, he was involved in this game, right? So hilarious story.
We talked about the episode. Yeah, we covered it.
Hey, with Mitri from the UA perspective, and then like how they got in Exhibit via Cameo.
Yeah, Cameo.
And then like, oh, you know what? Like, yeah, let's just work together on this. And they put it in the game.
If you look at downloads for the same group, what you'll see is that at Chrome Valley Customs, that around the same time, you can see the revenue kind of switch. They also stopped. It looks like they stopped spending against this game. So
because CPS is really high. CPS is super high. Like Mitri said, like look, like it was so expensive at some point. Like we just had to do a lot of different hyper casual type of videos because as soon as you start showing Match-3, it's like 50 plus. And I'm pretty sure like this 50 plus, it's quite high for Chrome Valley Customs to just bid against.
By the way, that's the only differentiator between the, let's say, the UA play that I've seen within these games, that Chrome Valley Customs actually has the mini games. Similarly to like Royal Match. If you go here, you can even go and play them. It's called Vehicle Simulator. So you literally, yeah, I guess it needs to download it. I think I had that normally put into.
What is it? Was it called?
Yeah. What was it called?
What was it
I
called?
heard that too. I heard that too.
Yeah,
It was something- No. What was it called? The mini games? Can you say it again?
This one.
Okay, what's the name? What's the name of the mini game section?
So you actually go and ride the track. And you need to put.
That was not a success.
Yeah, it was not a success, but it still kind of went there.
You failed with reading the fucking Vehicle Simulator.
The second one's better because the second one's actually forklift.
Oh, I did that one too.
Let's see it.
Yeah, because
Let's see it.
that one was actually put on level 30 into normal saga, so they force you to play it or skip it. So it's the typical kind of royal match treatment, but it's not every 10 levels as you see. The
It's
level differences is giant, so they didn't really kind of put that much effort into it. But if you look into it, it's there. If we're talking the UA question, like, yeah, this is like pretty advanced stuff that they have there.
And you remember when we talked about this in one of the creative trends, it was all like kind of like a driving simulator type of creatives, and it's still there. It just when I was kind of looking into the family farm match also creatives, and we're going to look at that. I don't think, and I'm heads off to the team, and we love Heaven and the whole Century Games. I don't think, their UA knowledge for match games is there.
I mean, like it's hindering their progress.
Absolutely,
at product,
yes.
they're kind of getting there, but UA is
Exactly, yeah. On the Forex, yeah, no problem.
because how I view it, like the slide that Laura did here, is that like this is pretty much when they were kind of more starting with like Match-3 formula and just learning. Here they went two separate ways, whereas like because they had different games in between also, not Match-3 but Click to Match or whatever, different kind of subgenres, just same casual. And they went Chrome Valley Customs and pretty much diverted there into the Chrome Valley Customs meta and like the mechanics, but they still use their template from Disco Match because it's like the baseline. And Family Farm pretty much get returned back to the original, like we're following the baseline standardized template and went like Royal Match style on it. And Trackstar's kind of a deviation, which I guess kind of they okay with it, but can scale it still.
Well, one thing we should note is that the vehicle simulator that you showed, to access it, it's actually not a button on the HUD. It's in the settings screen.
Yep, it's here.
Yeah. So I played up to the first 4. They're very similar. They're all basically driving. There's some sort of maneuvering a vehicle.
Yep.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so that's there. Regarding the template itself, it's the usual kind of royal match setup, the events trigger meta, where you have the battle pass that unlocks somewhere there in like around level 30, the monetization events on the right side of the screen, the, let's say, trigger engagement events on the left side of the screen. By the way, this one I didn't saw in the Royal Match loadout. I don't know if this is because you actually have to pay soft currency to be matchmade.
And you never pay.
No. Normally you would be like matchmade automatically with these other events that I've seen within different games. Here you actually had to pay like a wager, and then
just go.
Yeah, but it basically puts a timer there, and after it finds an opponent, you have like 15 minutes to kind of overcome.
Okay.
Also, this is also interesting, where you have the track that you're pretty much restoring, and you need to make it by the end of the timer in order to keep it in your collection. Which is, again, I guess, a little bit of like that's what I was saying, that they kind of deviated from the Royal Match template and just went completely kind of custom to their Trackstar needs, I guess.
I would agree with that. There's definitely elements of differentiation between the meta in this, and even less so I'd say the core, but mostly how they approached a lot of these kind of the live events versus the other two games. The other thing I was messaging Jakub about was if you go to in Trickstar, if you go to the guilds, the social area, this is the first time I've seen this. They actually have Team Challenge integrated into the team itself. So it's almost like its own UI HUD for how the team's performing things to do. That is not in the other two games. That is, again, another reason why
Not even in Royal Match.
I haven't seen it in Royal Match, unless I'm not in the A/B test for it, but I have not seen it in Royal Match.
So they have their own iterations, which is great, but other features are pretty much kind of bread and butter Royal Match. Like you have the standard albums there. This is kind of, again, very similar. The leaderboard setup, again, very similar. The shop, not shop. This is the progression setup, let's call it. But again, progression, here is the farm, here is the cars, and here is the, like, these club areas. What they were pretty much unlocking there. Yeah, here you see, for instance, the different thing with the cars is that you have these additional cars from events, I guess, that you can get or collect or whatever, something. I guess that's going for their mechanic. Because let's talk about the core, because I want to hear your kind of, let's say, what do you think about the core currently and what they do, what they don't do, or how would you compare this to Royal Match, or why this can scale to Royal Match?
You know, in terms of, okay, the core mechanics, so in terms of how the engine's been developed and the kind of the logic of things like how boosters are placed or the smartness of the propellers, especially when propellers are combined with other boosters and what they target, I think it's actually done very, very well. What for each of these games, and again, I'm gonna kind of combine Party Match with Family Farm because they're so similar, to even to the point where how they introduce obstacles, the obstacles they pick. That is all. It's not a copy, but it's almost, as you can tell, it's very similar.
Almost like one team.
It does feel like one team. It does feel like one team that is working on the two games that are on the right. Well, looking at this on the right hand side, and then it's a separate team working on Truckstar. What I want to call out a little bit is what was confusing to me was the level difficulty and overall level balancing was, it's too easy. So for Truckstar, I think it's a little bit more difficult. I think I put in my notes that if I was gonna like finger in the air, estimate, I would say the APS, the attempts per success, so that's general difficulty for how you determine the level's difficulty. It's probably 1 to 1.25 on average between levels 1 and 100. A few levels were maybe 2 APS, but it didn't go up. It didn't go higher than that. And I would say like a hard level is like you're looking at anywhere between 2 and 6. 2 and 6 attempts per success to beat the level for that. And actually Truckstar is more difficult. So then you have these other two games where I found it significantly easier. I can't tell you how many times I used an EGP and in-game purchase, more moves for coins. I don't think I did going through the first, let me see what actual specific level I got to. Okay, so I got to 85 in Family Farm Match. I don't think I used I think I maybe failed one level, and I probably wasn't paying attention when I was playing, and I certainly didn't need to use any of my coins.
Well, when you compare this to Royal Kingdom, it's just day and night.
Royal Kingdom is significantly more difficult. And I think that's a determination. So if we looked at that revenue of these three games, I was thinking, what is the strategy behind this? Why haven't they experimented with one to make one more difficult for at least, starting level 50 and up? And could they be making more revenue from this if they did?
Yeah, that's my other kind of, not question, maybe just points here, that Truckstar deviated not only with the template and some like additions, but also the difficulty curve, because these two has kind of very similar difficulty curve. And to me, it feels like Royal Match, because Royal Match kind of very easy in the beginning, at least, compared to Royal Kingdom, which is kind of more close to Truckstar. I guess even harder than Truckstar.
So if you go to slide 5 that I made, I pulled just to like dig this point home. Look, if you look at this is the obstacles are almost identical. In Party Match, I unlocked the the super lightning ball. I can't remember what it's called in Party Match, but it's when you don't fail a level. I think I had a 41 level streak in one of these games, and you can see here that the beer in the cat beer, it's literally the same in both games. And then what I thought was super interesting was it's pictured in Family Farm Match, but unfortunately not in Party Match. But I have a video of it in the Family Farm Match. In the graphic, you see those two cards in the middle of the board. That was a really interesting mechanic. I mean, it's not completely novel, but I haven't seen anything super identical to it in another game. Yeah, I took video. So this is it's so similar. They play so similarly. But I think the video after that, I showed the what's it called? The poker.
The poker mechanics, I think, here at the end. Yeah, that's
yes. It's this mechanic. Again, simple, but it's exactly the same. The art is even the same in both games.
I haven't seen it anywhere else before.
I haven't seen it. There's like in a Farm Hero Saga, they have like generators. So you match next to it, you generate. This looks like a combination of a generator obstacle with, it's almost like the splash color in Candy Crush Soda.
For Felix and Matej, who didn't kind of catch it, what do you do? Like, you break those cards, you need to match close to them, and then what they do, they kind of shuffle here in this animation and turn a lot of tokens on the board into same color, which actually creates cascades. That's basically what's there.
And usually there's a resource requirement in the level to collect 60, 100, whatever it is, that color board piece that you need that's generated by those poker deck.
Yeah, but looking at this screen, the cat beer screen or whatever it is, like, yeah, it's definitely same asset, everything pretty much. So I guess they're just following the template. And yeah, again, back the question would be, would you consider this omitting Truckstar now out of the equation and just focusing on Party Match and Family Farm, that they're progressing with their core kind of, let's say, not juiciness, but let's say the quality of their core? Would you compare this, that they're already reaching the quality of Royal Match?
They're pretty close. I think they're pretty close. I think the biggest obstacle for them is going to be the level balancing rather. The levels are way too easy. And one thing that we tend to forget, maybe as developers, or I don't know, seeing these two games side by side, I feel like we tend to forget. One of the biggest complaints from the casual puzzle audience is that the games feel very, very much the same. And my guess with this is that the party match theme didn't connect. Either the UA was too expensive, or it just didn't capture the audience. People didn't like it enough, so they went with Farm because Farm tends to perform.
So
if you look at these are two separate games. It's like the level's almost identical.
I mean, look, like the level balancing and everything. You need to be in Istanbul to know how it works. I mean, like, it's pretty.
Yeah, like so one thing, as you said, like, is the UA problem that probably is like hindering them down. The other one is the hidden part
the difficulty.
of it, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Like the actual background of all of this at the back end, like all the secret sauce.
Yeah, it's definitely a secret sauce. Like, this is not something that you can take from the game just by looking at it and reverse engineering it.
What Century Games should do, they should look at Vertex Games and their matching story. I mean, they're a Chinese company. They're making 10 million a month. I mean, it's not Royal Match, but it's still doing way better than all the others.
Yeah, but like, my guess is like what Century is going here after is something like Royal Match scale, or like, yeah.
Yes, but if you go step by step, then you can get it. Like, this is nowhere near Royal Match scale. Nowhere near. No, the Truckstar is like 2 mil a month.
Yeah, but my guess is that Truckstar pretty much, they kind of, for me, how I see it is basically, I think for them it's a learning experience. It's not something like Chrome Valley custom scenario that we make it or we kill the company or something like that. Like do or die kind of situation. Whereas it's like they learn upon it, probably enrich their template setup and move on. And then Family Farm is the next one in the attempts, let's say.
Could I make an argument for 2 minutes and you guys sharpen your knives sharpen your knives, because after 2 minutes, I want to get really hammered on this. Jakub, if you could go to Sensor Tower, please, for Truckstar.
Yeah.
Because honestly, this just check Truckstar up and look at the active user base. So just only Truckstar, please.
Mm-hmm.
Just remove the other ones and show the countries. And remove the other ones, so it's only Truckstar. So it's remove Forza Customs and Chrome Valley Customs.
There you go.
So around 1 million. 800, let's say.
800K, which is 150K is US.
Yeah, do the last 30 days.
This is going to be such a big bullshit. And then, yeah, zoom in, please. Just pick US only. We're getting there. iOS, no?
How much?
Unified?
How much Felix they can make?
Yeah, like 30K.
So basically,
no.
Some of their listen here, listen here, right? So some of their top performing geos, right, with the largest user base is like geos that generally would never make an IAP purchase, right? You have India, Mexico, Brazil, UK, right? Or UK would make it, but Indonesia, right? But like, there's a huge like part of the user base here that just is being unmonetized, right? And I'm just saying, like, even if they had 3 rewarded ads in these geos, non-US, they could be earning another like 22% right now on ads, right? From these geos that are not generating anything, right? And we know that the second largest Match-3 game uses ads. Century Games spends a boatload on UA.
Wait a second. Second largest Match-3 game uses ads when you needed to watch 50 videos from Indonesia how to get to those ads after level 4000. That's the baseline we're talking here.
Look, all I'm saying is, right, if in non-US geos they showed 5 rewarded ads on half of the user base, that would add an extra 30% on this title, right?
Lara, you want to take this one?
Look. Like, let me finish, right? So what you can do is, if you have close relationships with DSPs, they can send you data on the users that they have in their database that have never made an IAP or that have made an IAP. If you use that data for segmentation and you never even in those geos show the ads to people who have ever made an IAP ever before from these databases, you're kind of isolating yourself from any of the risks on degrading IAPs. And I'm just saying 30% on this, it's quite a nice uplift in non-US geos. Yeah, sharpen the knives. I think I'm right.
Well, look.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Sweet.
Good.
Let me just use my usual bullshit filter. If it was so great, why don't we see it anywhere else?
Century Games doesn't have any experience with ads.
Whoa.
Get Century Games out of the equation.
Just gonna ask,
why don't we see it anywhere else? Period.
King does it.
Take a step back. Century Games and Frozen City is full of ads, man. Like, what are you talking about? So,
no argument against it. Okay, great.
What do you mean?
Look, I need a reminder. Whiteout Survival has ads. Yes.
Yeah, but why wouldn't they have ads in Truckstar? That's my point.
This is what this. So I actually kind of agree with you. That's what I don't get either. So they're not optimizing revenue here, and they're basically. They're not differentiating enough. So one thing my question when we first, before we started recording was, I have questions around what the strategy is of these 3 games. Like, what are they trying to achieve? I mean, I think one of you mentioned, they're like this learning. But if you go back to when Party Match came out, they've been learning for 3 years, and they're like, if you're going to be learning in Match-3, you got to be learning much faster. And they have a live game, so the learning should be moving exponentially. That's why I was like, I wouldn't know what the purpose was of why they necessarily keep releasing, unless it's because it's too expensive. They were trying to scale it. Maybe Farmly Fan Match was the one that they're like, yes, this is the game, has the right theme. We know Party Match works in terms of smooth. It's a smooth core. We've nailed down the meta. Let's go. That's the only thing I can think of.
Also, the Truckstar with ads with 30% uplift. I mean, you go from 60 to 100K per day, maybe, which is okay, but still not real match.
Opportunity cost, probably.
So what do we think
Well, match.
the actual strategies here? Learning or slow learning?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out that as well. I mean, it's there. They want to conquer also Match-3 at some point. It's just
My guess is that they just want to get to casual as much as possible.
but this doesn't look like it's as much as possible. That's the thing. It's as slow
Exactly.
as
It doesn't
possible.
look like
that's
as much
that's
as
the problem.
possible.
Yeah, this is not even close.
How would you do it differently?
You have 3 games. One is basically dead, no UA. Then you have Trackstar, which is going nowhere in terms of the scale. So, like, why you even just put any resources if you're just stable 60k? Like, that's a fail.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, it's a fail. I mean, that's a fail. So now you have Family Farm Match in, I guess, soft launch. So now this needs to scale. If it doesn't scale, kill. Just do another one, or just do 3 games at the same time, and then just try different things. Theme, I don't know, yeah, different, whatever.
I think looking at this,
Something-
you already
something
see
else.
that
I mean, something else.
the team option is already there. The difference between these two is mainly the theme.
But theme option for company with 4,000 people, 2 games when you want to conquer the fucking Match-3 genre.
You know how priorities
And what are we talking about?
switch within the company that makes like 150 mil from one game.
But with this pace, you will never make 100 million from match. Like, never. It's not going to happen in maybe in third life.
So what? Do 5 Match-3 games in a month? With 5
Not in a
different
month,
teams?
but 5 in a year, maybe.
Yeah, that's definitely possible for them.
Yeah. It's just insane because they have like different Match-3 merge games and all of the different things. So if you want to really conquer this, then just put
Or buy a
a
Turkish
lot
studio.
of efforts.
They
Anything.
could do that. It's not a problem for them, I think.
Of course. But it's like, yeah, like I'm still, I'm also like on Laura's side, like what's the actual strategy?
Nah, I'm
Well, what's
puzzled
the
as well.
play?
I'm not, I'm playing devil's advocate here, nothing else.
So let's say you keep her on party match. It's because the cores are so similar and the metas are so similar. You could use party match as kind of an experimentation place for anything you want to put in what you think is going to be your bigger game, which I assume is they're betting
They're
this
already
on.
doing. Yeah.
Right. So
They're not doing because like party match is like 0 UA.
So the only
So
thing
how
I
can you-
couldn't see in Center Tower was the audience of party match is too small for estimated active users. That's
Keep in mind
So
that
that's-
they could be running these things in China that we don't see.
also true.
Sure. We can ask in a few months.
Yep. Yeah.
Absolutely. Because like, and I'm pretty well when I talked with Heaven and the team in Vegas, they asked a lot of questions about solitaire as well.
Well, solitaire is a hot genre now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly.
I think the battle has been won over here already.
Yeah, just call Vuga.
So you asked Heaven, basically, it's like, oh, what games are you guys looking to make? And he's like, yes.
Kind of. Yeah, I was like, hey guys, like, well, there's so many solitaire questions. Are you making solitaire? Not yet.
Do you want to, Matej, do you want to go briefly over UA?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I
Yeah, I think we talked ourselves to pieces here.
No,
Yeah,
I want to
'cause-
show you how what they're doing with this gorgeous game. It's called Family Farm Match. So it's in soft launch because you have Facebook and Upload, nothing else. But that's not the only thing. Just watch, right?
Ooh.
Yeah, well, yeah, but wait with the until the very end. 'Cause obviously, all the blah blah blah, save whatever. But have you seen one important thing? Or in the left
No
top
ads?
corner? Yeah, just behind. Yeah, look.
Wonderland
That's just rude.
So here we go. That's the first creative. There's a second creative, which is actually very creative, but it's like
Some
it's a food.
cooking game.
Yeah, it's just a cooking game, right? It's a cooking game, but actually with the right logo. Then there's there's a lot of these, which all the pics. I'm not even sure if this is their own creative, but maybe it is.
The tokens on the top are there.
Yeah. Okay. So This actually might be okay. So it's Family Mart, but then we have this, which is another creative, and obviously nothing to do with the Family Match, because it's not a Family Match creative. It's a Pearl Jam, something else. Same thing here, blah blah blah. Here, I think this might be actually. I think this might be actually it. But again, it's a cooking
creative.
This must be a mistake. This can't be.
Isn't
right.
this the part when they are figuring out the game that they put in between the levels because of the creative?
Look, can you see
That's
this?
a king
Oh,
ad.
really?
That's a
Yeah,
king
can
ad.
you,
That's the
can you
fifth
see
game.
this? Yeah, exactly. So I mean, this is how
No.
Chinese companies soft launch the game. You just take whatever and just run it and see what sticks. But yeah, here, look, it's the same thing.
River game.
Shoot bubbles. And then it's all the between things like this. Actually, quite funny when God created Family Match, right? So you have all these fun merge gameplay, whatever that means. Now it's all gameplay. So I guess now they're trying to actually get the core KPIs, and then you have all of these different fun other gaming creatives that are trying to figure out like what's actually gonna stick, and maybe just what kind of mini games they're gonna build. I feel like they have no idea what they're doing on the UA side on Match in here.
Really?
It's really random, man. It's really random. It's like
We can see, right? Like if it's not a mistake,
look,
this is super
you know
weird.
what is this game? It's Match Factory. Again, it's Match Factory. I see this.
Yeah.
I've seen this a million times. Yeah.
It's
So
Match Factory. They took a Match
Exact-
Factory ad?
it's
Well,
like
they also
And it's
took,
like
like,
seven
Wonder
games,
Blast
seven
ad.
different
seven
games.
seven different game. It's just 7 different game, and then you have this, which is it's so random. I don't think there's. I mean, they're trying to find like what works, and it kind of like it's really resembling like the whole strategy for the match, because it's just spray and pray, basically everything. Like we try this, we try that. Like, if you look at match villains,
Yeah.
you could clearly see they really know what they're doing from day one. UA and the gameplay. I mean, and it's a new game, and we were like, oh my god, they're going after Royal Match. But it's doing already 2 million a month. We talked about it 2 months ago. They're still growing. Then
So this is not a glitch in Sunset Tower for sure, yeah?
No. I don't think there's a glitch. If it's a glitch, it's one creative, not 7, not 8, not 8, right? Which I mean, it's completely normal. If people do this,
What's the setup on top so I can double check that?
May Family Farm Match, a Facebook only. If we go actually to
What's interesting is the creative side does not seem like they know what they're doing, but when I look at the actual how the engine was made, it is a polished Match-3 engine. Level balancing aside, it is a polished Match-3 engine.
so it's just all over the place. Like that's
Okay, I see it.
I don't want to
see
say problem. It's just it's weird.
Yeah, it's Match
really weird.
Factory. Yeah, okay, I see it. I see it all. This
So,
was
yeah,
a
I mean,
glitch. That's
it's
king.
no, it's like the glitch is when it's like one
Yeah,
game.
yeah,
not-
we've seen
not
that.
8.
We've seen that glitch once.
Yeah, we've seen the glitch, but like honestly, this is fine. It's uploading the playables. I mean, it can work. We have videos here, so it's fine. All this, it's never going to be scalable because you have one playable on uploading, which is fine because you're. I think again, like this is a soft launch. Very, I wouldn't say very early, but somewhere like a mid soft launch where they're trying to get some KPIs and maybe work on the balancing, but they still need some numbers. But this needs to be either going the near death experience or save whoever from the farm, or just to go into the township area with all the idle stuff. They have all the knowledge from the Whiteout Survival. They're already copying or like getting heavily inspired by Township anyway. So like this is the place where you do it. This is exactly the place where you do it. Like where else?
Give me the screen.
Yeah.
I'll show you something.
Sure.
I have a theory now. So you remember you showed that King Creative with Yeti being stuck by coins?
There you go.
So isn't this just the testing part to kind of filter out the working creatives and then see which
Then
ones
just-
work and then
Yeah,
put their own
of course.
like this?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. So like it's the way more efficient way. You just get whatever else from whoever else, just put it, see what works, and then you
Replace
do it
the
with your
asset,
assets.
literally.
Yeah, literally replace the assets. Yes, because here like it's like
Same assets, literally, like
Yeah.
just the Yeti is replaced,
it's
nothing
just-
else.
it's replaced, yeah.
Like these are Candy Crush candies. Like
Yeah,
you
it's
can
Candy
see
Crush.
those.
Yeah. I can see it. No, but again, even this creative is just it's not good enough in terms of save me or save the king concept because
also
it misses basically the whole emotions.
Yeah, but
like
there's
it's
also
just
part of King's creative which I still didn't get to the
yes,
same
yeah,
level as
that's
Royal
why,
Match.
that's why you don't really copy King, but you kind of go and just
Copy
look
Royal
at
Match directly.
You just go to Royal Match and Royal Kingdom because they know what they're doing. Because like this is it.
Here's the it's literally
Yeah,
on the same page.
So that was my point. Like honestly, if I then go to Trackstar, even and this is Match Factory again. It's Match Factory again. And see it from miles. Like
Yeah, go
then
ahead.
like this is this is one thing, but then you go to Trackstar, which we kind of saw a million times before. But then like why don't you just use exactly what you're doing in Trackstar? It's all like you see all the like the driving simulator, or as you might say, vehicle, Jakub, Mr. Vehicle, and this is what they're doing all the time. And even such like this is pretty good that they have also gates with all these like trucks and racing, and it's just why don't you just do this?
You mean like the fake
Like
gameplay
the
UI
minigames.
strategy?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I know why, because if you're in soft launch, you can't do this because then your KPIs are just fucked. It will disappear. It's not gonna work. In here, it can because it's already live, and you can use all of these tricks now. So I'm really curious to see like when this Family March game will come live in like worldwide, because that's like where like the scaling should happen.
Can I just say I really like that creative. I want to play that game
This
really
one?
badly.
This one, yeah.
You could see it's a Finnish creative because their Trackstar, screensaver, see all over the place.
Yeah, screensaver. Yeah. Well, you can play this one as well if you want. But not like. But this is what you do on like Match-3. It's just check King, not King. Well, just Kings, but in Royal Match and Royal Kingdom. So this is it, and this is what they need to figure out for their all Match-3 games. Because if they don't figure out like the UA part, it's not gonna
scale.
It's just it's impossible. Like that's the part of that equation. So this kind of works.
Was the verdict
also
on
works on
Family Match current state of UA?
it's absolute random.
TBD.
TBD.
I mean, it's not even the AI. It's absolute random. I mean, like it looks like it's very early testing phase in terms of like the creative concepts, like which direction they should go.
Mm-hmm.
That's my verdict, kind of, because they have the gameplay which they need for the KPIs, but then like, why don't you just do this as well? This is way more.
This
This
is
is
right
way
on
more
survival.
closer. Yeah, but it's way closer to like the Family Match.
This is literally Whiteout Survival
Yeah, I
creative.
know, yeah. And this is all you need. This is basically all you need. Come on. There you go.
That's Whiteout Survival right there. Even the temperatures there.
Yeah, that's their engine. Yeah, that's their engine. Like it's exactly, and it's like, what else do you need? Nothing. You have already like built everything in there. It's just reskin, basically. So still, yeah, it's like a lot of fun. We need to talk about all of these new creatives in the next creative trends. Anyway, okay, so yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We can wrap it up here.
Okay, so you always been down there. Laura, you want to do a final verdict on the puzzle strategy?
So I'm trying to think of if I was the one leading the portfolio strategy for these games, what my thinking would be. If this were me, what I'd probably be doing is slowly winding down Party Match, Disco Match in favor of what I think is going to have lower CPIs and a more broadly appealing theme by releasing a Family Farm Match, and then taking everything that worked and just wrapping it up a little bit nicer. My hope then would be that what I want them to do next is start to figure out how to adjust their balancing so that they can actually make money off of this game. And frankly, I'd be putting ads in it as well. That I would be.
Yes.
I would
You
be.
see, Matej and Jakob always hate on me, but I'm always right.
Wait a second. I didn't say any negative comments about not putting ads.
Okay.
I can get that. I can get that. I just said
I
it
apologize.
wouldn't move the needle that much.
Okay. 30% is nice.
I would still take it. I would be if the goal is for them to learn and say, okay, we know they have, I think they've done a great job. I loved Whiteout Survival. I thought it was a great game. I'm not even a 4X player. If I wanted to move into casual, maybe this is a slow ramp. But what I can't stress enough is that when it comes to these types of games, making a Match-3 game is not easy, especially if they're building they built this engine at some point from scratch, or they took it right. So, and I just pulled up Tactile's Simon's Cat Match as a quick comp. It's doing pretty well. But if I play the engines side by side, the engine in Family Farm Match is, in my opinion, significantly stronger. It is a more polished engine. So you have this team that can actually build a very good Match-3 engine, but there's, in terms of how they're handling some of the things around that, is maybe they need to learn, or maybe they just want to get players through. They just want to measure. That could be it as well. Right now, there's nothing. Go ahead.
Yeah, but you know why this Simon's Cat is doing well? Because of the Lily's Garden. I mean, they already done this.
Well, Lily's Garden's a tapper. A clicker, not a Match-3 game.
Yes,
are we
but
talking
still.
about the same game? Like it's doing well?
Well, I just doing terribly. I just quickly looked at the. Hold on.
Doing
Can I
okay.
take the screen, please?
It's doing okay.
It's doing okay.
Give me the screen.
It's doing okay.
I mean, it's doing okay.
It's doing okay. Let's.
Yeah,
we
it's
can't.
fine. Oh wait.
We can't compare.
There's downloads.
They've lost an engine.
We can't compare everything to Royal Match, right? I mean, not everything's going to be a billion dollar plus game.
Sure.
I think it's not doing. It's a cute game. It's doing better than the other game. That's what I was looking at. It's doing okay. Let's see. I mean, is it going to be a hit? Probably not. Definitely not. But I would say that it has to do with the quality of the engine more than anything else, and the theme is a little bit niche. I mean, I know Simon's Cat. I think it's a cute comic, but is it going to be the IP that everyone knows and loves and downloads because of it? No. But
I mean, this is just a reskin. It's just the reskin of the Party Match game, basically. That's also that. Come on, like it's also that. So.
Well, I think I played about 70 something levels of Simon's Cat Match. Actually, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I was proud of Tactile for making it, but if I'm going to compare apples to apples for core engines, I would say that Family Farm has a stronger core engine.
They have the product manpower. That's definitely taken there. Don't get me wrong. What you said there, I guess, is the biggest problem, where there's like pretty much secret sauce Match-3 know-how that only few people, or not few, but like very specific, let's say, people that have a lot of years behind driving Match-3 games have. And if you don't have someone that's skilled on the team that can especially know like how to balance difficulties and drive conversions through that, then I guess it's really hard to figure out yourself.
So again, that's the thing. you can copy one-to-one like the level design and everything, but when we come back to your points in the Match-3 overview, like how all the boosters are like behaving, like how everything is happening on the board, like that's
Especially the stuff that you don't see that's happening on the back end.
That's the real difference. If like two of the boosters are activated at the same time, like it's a completely different player experience as well.
Yes. If I'm going to get like really technical, it has to do with the timing, how long animations take, the order in which they play, how many particle effects. If you're going to be like there's a milk bottle in one of them, how much spray that gives off. All of that has an effect in terms of how it makes the player feel. But a lot of it has to do with the speed and I would say the order of operations of how things go. How player friendly is it? So one thing that I think it does a great job of that I haven't seen done well in other games, in Match-3 games, is how they handle when the level first loads. You have boosters. Do you have your win streak boosters? You have your persistent timed boosters. So the pre-level selection boosters, sometimes you have a timer. You can use the line clear for 15 minutes. There's a certain order in which you have to lay those on the board without disrupting either a preset match in the seeded level or there's not enough space. Like you have to think about how the player is going to respond, because then it feels like something they earned is something they can't use. So in that regard, that's what I say, a polished engine. These are the types of things that I mean. The smartness of the propellers. Family Farm Match does it really well. I'm actually I think they did a great job. I would commend them. But that's only one aspect of it. They need to get the other bits and bobs. They need to get their APS curve making more sense, because then I think they'll see a world of difference in revenue. But again, it comes back. They also got to figure out what ads they're going to use, and maybe not the Wonder Blast ads.
Yeah.
I think they're figuring all the ads.
Start with that.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, I think we can end pretty here. Like, it's not gonna take on the Match-3 market immediately, but definitely, we'll keep it on the radar. Matej, you want to take us out?
Me?
Yeah.
Me again? Okay. Thank you very much for coming.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. No, thanks. No, like it's also thank you very much, Laura, for coming. Because
always great to have you here, especially with these episodes, because
thank you for coming,
some
Laura.
things that I can't even assess here. So thanks for the expertise.
Happy to be here.
Always great to have the Puzzle Queen with us on Match-3 episodes.
Ooh, there you go. And listeners, thank you very much for coming as well. Join the Slack channel. Also, please comment on the video. It's very important to hear your feedback. And see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Bye.